Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Renault, and I'm going to do a quick review. Well, not necessarily quick, but a review of Kamandi, the last boy on Earth. Now, this is kind of different from most of the other books I've been reading, just because I'm just going to do a couple of one shots and some older issues. Now, for those who don't know, Kamandi is a story about, as exactly as it says, the last boy on Earth. Now, this story is about a young teenage boy who is a post-apocalyptic world. All the creatures have become sentient, and he becomes friends with this character, Dr. Canus, who is the art makes him look like a mole here, but he's actually a part dog. You wouldn't tell that by the art. And anyway, most of the factions are hostile to humanity, because he is clearly not the last boy or even the last human on Earth. Excuse me, sorry about that. Coughing as a kind of a tribute to your boy Zach. And I just went to the shop earlier, not a little while ago, and got some old issues. So I grabbed a couple that looked interesting, and I'm just going to do some review of those. Anyway, this first one is going to be Kamandi, the last boy on Earth. And so I picked this one up just because it's about the BI-CENTENNIAL. So this book's about 40 years old, a little over 40 years old. Anyway, we skip a couple of pages, and our intrepid hero, Kamandi, is in the middle of an adventure with Dr. Canus, who I mentioned earlier. And Dr. Canus and his girl, Lorna. But anyway, they just have finished their hot air balloon across the country. And they're landing in Connecticut. And they're immediately confronted by a group of tigers. You soon will be. So they see these tigers, like, as soon as they land. So he's like, oh, don't worry. Seize them. And so with pleasure, they're putting a thing around his neck. They're catching him. Oh no, it's a setup. It's a trap. As General Akbar would say. So he's like, nope, I'm not going to do anything, even if I have to kill you to get away. And so in the scuffle, the captain accidentally shoots their hot air balloon. It explodes. And in the dust, they escape. And Dr. Canus is revealing the extent of his treachery. And so Kamandi and Lorna are just going through the city avoiding these tigers who are now on the prowl. Now, right away, we have a small bit of a plot hole here, in that Dr. Canus would be very familiar with Lorna, and especially Kamandi's scent. So this whole smoke fog would not have allowed Kamandi to get away. So right away, some of this stuff does not ring true. So anyway, Kamandi and Lorna, the teenage boy and the hot chick, are having an adventure. You know, it's a teenage fantasy, and you can see the appeal of who the target audience is right away, because you can see he's fighting off these huge dudes. He's muscle bound. He's getting the girl. He's leading her around. So again, unlike most modern comics, this book is targeting towards people who buy and would enjoy these types of adventures, instead of trying to appeal to a phantom audience. Let's skip a couple of pages. And so, it turns out, again, teenage fantasy. Him and Lorna share a kiss. And like I said, there's also someone else who's been captured by the king of the tigers. And so they're bringing him in from the dungeon. And so eventually, like as expected, he starts escaping. Because of course he is. And he actually has superpowers. They hit him right in this spot here. And so it transforms him into Da da da. Steel. What is this guy's name anyway? Strong as steel, bizarre biological forms, atomic. Oh, he usually in these kind of transformations they announce their name, but they don't. Anyway, he's way too powerful now, and so they're going to have to get some reinforcements to capture this dude. It's pretty cool. And so the captain, or the person who hit the symbol here, is actually the son of the king. And so he's like, "You incompetent dunce." So he's like, "How are you going to fix this?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. Do something." Yeah. Anyway, let's skip a couple more pages. He's still in the process of escaping the city. He represents the brute force, whereas Kamandi represents more the teenage fantasy. So he doesn't necessarily have superpowers, but young teenagers could self-insert themselves here. With getting the girl, having a hot woman escort him around. So they work together to try to escape. No risk, no investment. What the heck is this anyway? I wasn't paying attention to the advertisements, but you can just look how old school they are. But yeah, and you can even tell by the ads who the target audience is. It's like, hey, this guy, he's all hulked out. Well, he's not really hulked out, but he's buff. He's got muscle tone, and so there's 3 or 4 build your muscles kind of things in this ad or in this book. Not quite sure what kind of thing this is here. It looks like carries. I did a complete order of blanks instructions. What is this a scam? Are they promoting Social Security scams in this thing? I have no idea what the Social Security thing is. It looks like a scam. I'm just going to say that right now. But anyway, skip a couple more pages. And so they're out of the city. They're in Connecticut. I don't know why that's relevant, but they make a big point of it. And so they're like, everyone is so aggressive. So he's like, be quiet. We can't draw their attention. So they're just talking about how, I can't believe Dr. Kane has betrayed us. So he's like, how come these humans don't remember? Why did this world come this way? Because she doesn't understand. But Kamandi does. He remembers a world before the war. I'm not quite sure how that plays out, but there's a couple of people they're looking to find, Steve and Renzi. I don't know who Steve and Renzi are, but right while they're in the middle of talking, boom, an ambush. And oh no, leopards. So there's all kinds of animal factions. There's bats, tigers, obviously. They're the primary antagonists. But also leopards. So that's the end of this issue. And again, you can just tell it's so much better than modern comics. Because there's hey, young teenagers, what do young teenagers want? They want to fantasize themselves, getting a girl, getting a kiss, beating up dudes, going on adventures. It's kind of remarkable how these old comics, have this common sense appealing to target demographics, and modern comics don't. It's just irrational. Anyway, I just want to turn it to one more thing. It's this thing with Superman. And so these kids are bored. And they're like, hey, let's crash a party because we don't know what else to do. And Superman's like, hey, you can't crash a party that you weren't invited to. If you do that, you're breaking the law. And that's trespassing. And I like how they take away the wrong message here. If you are not invited and they don't want you to come, don't crash the party. Those are Superman's words. So if we are invited in, it's okay. But if not, we should leave right away. Actually, if you weren't invited, you shouldn't show up in the first place. And you're black. You're black. If you show up to the wrong house, you're going to get shot. Come on now. Anyway, it's interesting. I do really like this story because it just shows a stark contrast of modern comics and how modern comics are mostly terrible and don't appeal to anyone. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.